Eric Sprott is the man on home territory, of course, tonight at the Rivermead Leisure Complex, and fans in Reading have always believed in their champion, but this is his chance to repay their support through what has been thick and thin, and there's been plenty of thin along the way. That one comes a little bit later on. First in action in Reading, we have young Matthew Macklin. He burst onto the domestic scene as a light middleweight, but one or two signs of it being a struggle recently, and he maybe faces a very tricky test here tonight against Scott Dixon, one-time Commonwealth welterweight champion, and in a long career, he's only been stopped 3 times. Commentary team in Reading, Adam Smith and Glenn McCrory, and our Master of Ceremonies, Michael Pass.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Rivermead Leisure Centre here in Reading. Tonight, Frank Warren Sports Network, www.frankwarren.tv, and Business Moves Groups proudly present an evening of heavyweight championship boxing. Welcome to viewers watching this broadcast live and exclusively on Sky Sports. The officials have been appointed for this first contest by the British Boxing Board of Control. This is 8 3-minute rounds in the light middleweight division. Introducing to you firstly, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the blue clutch shorts trimmed with yellow and red. At the weigh-in yesterday, he scaled 11 stones and 4 pounds exactly. From 39 contests, he has 27 wins, 6 of those wins coming by way of knockout, 9 defeats and 3 draws. Presenting from Hamilton in Scotland, the former welterweight champion of the Commonwealth Super, Scott Dixon. And opposing him, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the green clutch shorts trimmed with silver. At the weigh-in yesterday, he also scaled 11 stones and 4 pounds. From 11 contests, he has 10 wins. 7 of those wins coming by way of knockout, with only 1 defeat. He is a former English light middleweight title challenger, presenting from Birmingham, Matthew Macklin. Timekeeper at the bell from Harrow, Mr. Michael McCann, and the referee is Mr. Billiard from Bermondsey via Liverpool. 8 rounds.
Right, I want a good clean contest. You know the rules. When I say break, I mean break. Understand? Shake hands now.
The once racy and highly competitive domestic light middleweight division's been going through a little lull of late. An opportunity knocks for new blood. Will Birmingham's Matthew Macklin rise at the right time? Good-looking fighter rebuilding after a close, narrow loss, and a strong test in terms of experience here with the former Commonwealth welterweight champion, the irrepressible Scott Dixon. Seasoned, usually tough. Can Macklin get to him early, like Takaloo did, or will he have a long drawn affair? Interesting one.
Yes, it is, Adam. I think it's all about ambition. If Scott Dixon comes here with a bit of ambition, he can make this a really tough fight for the youngster Macklin.
He always has pride, a great deal of it, Dixon. He's picked himself up off the canvas a few times. Can Macklin break the spirit early? Dixon dropping his hands, but the Birmingham fighter going for the body. Noticeable tactics.
Macklin doing the right thing early. He's trying to establish control in the fight, try and get some good shots on Dixon as early as he can.
Dixon's had some notice for this, was sparring out in Hungary with their hope Mihaly Kotai. But Macklin has been sparring the rounds in Billy Graham's gym and says he feels so much of a better fighter than when he lost to Andrew Facey.
Straight away you can see Macklin's game plan, and that's to work the body of Dixon. And I think Dixon, who's tall and thin, that's the right thing to do.
He was a flyweight as an amateur, Scott Dixon. Now fighting at 11 stone 4 tonight.
Dixon still just 27. But you know, he's been around a long time, he's experienced, but still got youth.
Incredible to think that. He's had so many up and down type of fights. This is number 40. This is what's been a fun career to watch. Some good points and some heartbreak as well for Dixon.
Good solid opening round from Macklin, working the body to good effect and getting control with the jab.
Smooth, good-looking uppercut going in there from Macklin. Looks in control, seems the part, and really fancies this. A very warm welcome back to a balmy summer's evening here in Reading. Look at that for a statistic. First round, Matthew Macklin 14 body shots, Scott Dixon 0. And we thought it might be close on paper.
Yeah, that was the right sort of start from Macklin. Dixon has to start doing something. Maybe just hoping the youngster will run out of ideas and he can come back.
Here's the second of 8. Remember, the light middleweight division. The 21-year-old from Birmingham now lives in Manchester, shares a room with Michael Gomez. How about that? The WBU set the featherweight champion. And tonight Matthew Macklin deals with Scott Dixon, who's coming off a decision loss to Ryan Rose. He's won 2 of his last 7. How much ambition has he come with?
Well, so far it doesn't look an awful lot. He's throwing out a few tentative jabs and not much more.
Don't pull him out, don't pull him out. Come on, get up here.
Macklin at the moment using that jab and looking to wear Dixon down. Only being stopped by 3 fighters, Steve Roberts and Anthony Farnell, who did just that, wore Dixon down, and Takaloo, who blew him away in the opener. But this is impressive from Matthew Macklin.
Yeah, he nods a little bit of respect there, Scott Dixon. Of them good punches going in from Macklin, who's really started very strongly, trying to wipe out the memories of that loss to Andrew Facey.
Trying to dig in those body shots. Key part of Billy Graham's training, but he sent out a couple of distress signals here, Scott Dixon. He knows he's in front of a young, lively fighter, and he's not enjoying it.
Well, Dixon just has to start doing something. He's got to, you know, Macklin's going to walk through him if he doesn't throw nothing back, and that's what he's doing. So, really, we're looking for Dixon just to start throwing punches.
Had to skip down to make the 11-4 agreed weight limit last night. These punches solid from Macklin. A really, really good performance so far from the intelligent man from Birmingham.
Adam, he looks fit, he looks strong, he looks very purposeful, doesn't he?
Yes, he's had a lot of moving around gyms, unsettling, but believes he should have been with Billy Graham from the start. Now he is, and he's loving every minute, he says. Looking the part.
He really is. Nothing of much substance coming back from Dixon, so it's easy for Macklin just to walk right through him.
You're not a big puncher, Scott Dixon, certainly not at light middleweight, and he's being overawed here and earlier than many thought would happen.
He might lead a bit more now. Yeah? Don't waste anything. I told you. He's covering there. Go straight to there.
Billy Graham with the calm advice, of course, trains Ricky Hatton as well. Great stable he's got going up in Manchester.
Well, he can afford to be calm because it's all going Macklin's way.
Is there anything that Scott Dixon can do to stop the drive of Matthew Macklin, who's literally walking the Scotsman down to the ring with Super on the waistband. Super Scott Dixon. Bit of a gimmick that the Peacock Gym thought up a while back. He's been anything but super so far tonight. There's the body shot. Left hook. Digged in. And he knows that Dixon can be hurt to that.
Yeah, he's had the right idea right from the start, mixing it some body to head with hurtful shots, and this is just a wearing down process. But the right sort of thing to do with somebody like Scott Dixon.
Takaloo beat him with body shots, and Jamie Moore had him down before that surprise victory that Dixon got over the man from Salford. Just tries a body shot himself, which went low. Macklin pointed it out and went straight back into attack mode.
Starting to throw shots back a little bit now, Dixon, just because he really has to. He's winning nothing at all.
Career in danger of just petering out for Scott Dixon. Remember, was the former Commonwealth 10 stone 7 champion. Doesn't quite look the same fighter at light middle, has he?
No, he hasn't had the same sharpness and strength at the higher weight. Always been rugged and tough, with plenty pride though.
Yeah, bags of heart. But Macklin again just stalks. He looks really strong. At least Dixon's having something of a go here in the third.
Yep, he started to try a bit harder, as he has to, but when he does start throwing punches, that gives the openings, leaves the openings for Macklin to get his shots on.
Hard fought, competitive action in the last minute or so. Who's it affecting more? Dixon, it looks like.
Another good round for Macklin. A little bit more resistance from Dixon, but he needs to do an awful lot more if he's going to win a round.
Yeah, he's boxing very well. Matthew Macklin, probably the best night of his career so far. Well, the match looked tough. In reality, that tells the story.
Yep, 89 for Macklin, an awful lot less from Dixon. And Dixon, it's getting hard for him. He's taking a lot of punches. He's really got to try and do something if he's going to try and have any chance in this one.
It's the green and silver of the former law student at Coventry University. Got 3 A-levels, Matthew Macklin, but gave his studies up for his career in boxing. Only one defeat to Andrew Facey, and that was very, very close for the English title. The rehabilitation has looked good. Went over Dean Walker last time out. Now, everything pretty much his own way against Hamilton's Scott Dixon.
It's a nice steady pressure from Macklin. Still looking to defend well when the shots come back from Dixon. A lovely uppercut.
Beautiful shot from Matthew Macklin. A little bit of eye damage to Scott Dixon's right side. And are these shots a bit more meaty? Are they doing more damage, making more of an impression than a dent on Dixon?
It's a good right hook to the head that Macklin throws, and then he's looking for the uppercut to bring the head up just before that, which is another good punch.
Stabs at that eye, which is cut. Scott Dixon, more trouble for him, taking some of these headshots now as well. Absolutely nothing has gone right for Scott Dixon tonight.
Well, the problem for Dixon is he's just not throwing shots. You're not going to win if you don't throw the punches. He's done little bits in the last couple of rounds, but still not a lot.
Has had some blood and thunder type battles before, memorably that British welterweight title showdown with Derek Roach. 5 knockdowns in this one. He's given value for money, but the eye's starting to hurt him. And I think the shots from Matthew Macklin are having more and more increasing effect.
Yep, that eye's getting worse, starting to run into the eye. And the pressure, just the same, solid pressure from Macklin.
Can't really hurt Macklin either with a few shots he has thrown. Only 6 wins inside the distance in his long career, Dixon.
Throws a decent body punch, Dixon. Macklin just seemed to nod as if to register it.
Yeah, he's still brave. Scott Dixon always will be. But it doesn't look at the moment a way back for him. Do you think he's improved so far under Billy Graham as we look at the cut eye of Dixon?
Yeah, I think he has improved. I think the loss, it was a close fight, and there's nothing wrong with the loss. What it did do was make him dig in harder and work harder, and I think that's a good thing. Maybe he was starting to believe his own publicity a little bit. Macklin, who's a very likable young man, but he's knuckled down under Billy Graham. He's working hard, and I think that's very good. Heads have clashed together here and there, and that might have been the reason for the cut. But he's also thrown good punches. The left uppercut has been one of the best, along with the right hook.
Well, 4 torrid rounds so far for Scott Dixon to endure. Now a slight problem in the corner. His grandfather, Toby, just cleaning things up.
Well, I think they may have lost a gum shield. Something seems to be missing.
Is he going to go in without it, or is it in there? I don't think Scott Dixon particularly cares. But he's had a real rough tumble. Rose, a big burst at Macklin. Is this one last hurrah?
Well, he's come out to mean business. He really had to start doing this if he was going to stand any chance whatsoever.
We used the word earlier, irrepressible. That's what it always seems for the fitness fanatic from Hamilton. Right hand over the top. Now he's making Macklin trade a bit with him. This is a little more spicy.
Well, this is what we wanted to see. This will answer some questions about Macklin. A spirited start to the round from Scott Dixon.
Can he maintain this? Macklin has kept composed, used good defence on the most.
Well, it's down to Macklin now to subdue this newfound fire that Dixon has found.
Look at this ambition from Scott Dixon as he fires punches home. Fire meeting fire in the fifth.
Well, we've seen this in the past from Dixon. He's turned fights around. Can he do it here?
This is when he rallied to beat Jamie Moore. It would be unbelievable if he could turn this around. But he's having a right old go.
Well, this is what we wanted to see, a bit of spirit from Dixon.
Shows the hunger and ambition are still in Scott Dixon's makeup.
Landing with the left hook, Dixon. He seemed a little hurt from a body shot. And a decent right from Dixon.
Macklin comes back. Dixon showboats, feel the intensity in there. That's hurt Scott Dixon. Big clubbing right hand from Macklin, and he knows that.
Well, a really good round, isn't it? But I think Macklin heard him a few seconds ago. It took a little bit out of Dixon here.
Now he works the body. Blood from the nose as well as the eye for Scott Dixon to contend with. But he has given it one almighty crack in the fifth. Fabulous round of boxing. Well, how about that, Glenn? You can't ask for any more.
You should have just dropped the and gone in.
But over in the other corner, Scott Dixon looks as though that one last hurrah might be enough. He's cut, his head's down. It looked as though they were going to put him out. Yep. The eye, they say, is too bad to go on. Dixon's dejected. Matthew Macklin a little surprised at the stoppage of the fight there at the end of round number 5. And Matthew Macklin picks up a terrific win. Yeah, the referee didn't really signal as to what went on, but we looked at the corner and
I was letting him work.
the cut seemed to be the finisher.
Yeah, it was the cut. The corner signalled to the referee Villiers that they'd had enough with a cut, but he didn't make a big point of it. He just went to his scorecard and started writing some notes down.
Bit of a shame that after such a thunderous 5th round where he just gave every little thing he had left, but it was an excellent performance from Macklin.
It was a very good performance from Macklin. I think you were right earlier in the round when you said that Dixon was just going to come out for one last effort. I think he knew the cut was getting worse and he just thought, I'll give it a go. And, you know, good win for Macklin.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of round number 5, referee Villiers has accepted the retirement of Scott Dixon, having sustained a suspected perforated left eardrum. Your winner, Matthew Macklin. Your applause, please, for a boxer who pushed him certainly all the way, Scott Dixon.
Good test for Macklin there. Backstage, Michael Sprott is getting ready to top the bill in Reading tonight a little bit later on, defending his British and Commonwealth heavyweight titles on home territory. That's got to be to his advantage, but we expect him to get a searching test against Matt Skelton, the new force on the heavyweight scene. That's to come a little bit later. Matthew Macklin's performance may have answered 1 or 2 questions just when the scrutiny was growing for the young man. But let's see how he views that effort tonight.
11th win, 8 inside the distance. Best yet from you over a Scott Dixon who was poor for 4 rounds but came out firing in the 5th.
Well, he was poor for 4 rounds because he knew if he tried that onslaught early doors, he'd have come unstuck early doors. He tried to feel his way in, hoping that I'm younger and inexperienced, that I'd punch myself out. But I did, and I was probably learnt a bit more about input and output. Probably worked a bit harder than I needed to. But in the 6th round there, I thought I worked pretty hard for 5 rounds. He was knackered, and I thought he's going to try and turn it around now.
You seem to be cool, composed, and look strong in there tonight. Explain, are you better off under Billy Graham alongside you?
Without a shadow of a doubt. I'm strong for 2 reasons. You know, the weights that we've been doing with Kerry Kays. But also, I've always been a strong lad. But Billy's taught me about distance and weight transfer. And basically, I'm using my strength now where before I had all this strength and I wasn't using my full attributes.
Ricky Hatton going great guns, Billy, so too Michael Gomez. Can you take Matthew Macklin the whole way?
That's for sure. Matthew Macklin is without a doubt going to be a champion fighter. We haven't scratched his surface yet. He learns. God, he was a real quick learner. He really does. He's a really quick learner. And he'll learn a lot from the fight tonight, what we'll talk about later, you know. So I'm over the moon, yeah.
We'll enjoy the journey. Well done tonight.
And they say some of our prospects are being a little bit too protected at the moment. Derek, was that much more business-like for you?
Oh, definitely. I was impressed with the whole way he handled himself in the fight. Dixon, the last round, he put on an amazing show, and Macklin stuck in there, and he stayed with him and fought fire with fire, and definitely he can go a long way.
Johnny, what about the improvements from the technical point of view? He referred to them himself. Were you taken with them tonight?
I think Billy Graham is a magician. How he's changed Macklin's style around, he's made him walk a fighter down, he's made him find shots from different angles, and he's slotting him in very, very well. His conditioning, his sight, his insight into a shot, I think he's done very, very well.
He's transferring his weight from foot to foot, you know, it's good, it's all around.
Later on Sky Box Office.